Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, where we will bring you candid conversation. In each conversation, we will talk about real life ups and downs while tackling unresolved matters. We will also unmask issues and truly speak straightforward and candid about our needs and brokenness, while allowing ourselves to exhale so that we can become victorious. This is a place where you can be open to the possibilities of living life in abundance while gaining tools to become bold and complete. So let's get to it. We're back. All right, JB, did you enjoy that music that was playing?
I did. I was jamming over here.
Yeah, it was really nice. And you know, I love one of my favorite songs is Smile. You know, you can turn the whole day around with just putting a smile on your face. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that song, Smile.
For sure.
Not to mention how mentally healthy it is to smile.
That's right.
You smile at someone. Just give them a smile. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing off so we can get going with the battle is between the head and the heart. And Brother Carter want to tell me something before I say the acronym.
Yeah, before you do the acronym, we have not had the great pleasure of introducing you guys to the guys that are on the show today.
I'm supposed to not be running it down. I'm going to fall back, y'all.
And so we're going to take this opportunity to allow the gentlemen to express themselves and tell a little bit about who they are and what this show might mean to them personally. So I'm going to start outside in TV land. My brother, y'all know him. You've seen him 1,000 times. Brother JB, go ahead and introduce yourself, if you will, in case somebody on there that have not ever heard you before.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin B. Long. You may know me from such movies as The Love and Victory Show with Val. I am an author and a business owner and a sober person and a committed student of myself, trying to learn who I am and why I do the things I do so that I can grow into the better version of myself. And I am happy to be here today.
All right. God bless you. And we're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
We also have in the studio, Brother Ike over here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Brother Ike, how you doing this morning?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I can't complain, man. It's just good to be around the family again.
That's good. It's good. It's good to have you. Introduce yourself in your own unique way.
Yes, sir. I'm Isaac Ike Holland, CEO and founder of Gospel Comedy Entertainment. And, you know, and at this time, we are touring around the country. Shows coming up in Baton Rouge, Arkansas, Houston, Florida, and we just being blessed to move all over the place, give God's people some spiritual laughter. And I always enjoy coming on this show. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
You know, but every time I come here, I feel just like family and I'm at home.
All right. We're so glad to have you, man. So welcome back to the show.
Man,
Ike, where are you going to be in Florida?
It's Eustis, I think it's called.
Eustis. Awesome. All right.
You heard of it? You know where it
Yes.
is? Okay.
I do.
Eustis. Yep.
How far is that from you?
That's probably about a 3-hour drive for me, but I might make it to go hang out with Ike.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Come
April
on now.
12th.
Family, look out for family.
That's right.
Get on in that car and connect and come on down.
That's right.
There you go.
Good. And then we also have another brother that's been on the show last month. I believe you were here, huh, Kerry?
January.
Was it January?
I think it was January.
January? No.
Was it February?
It was.
I don't know.
last
Time
month was
flying that
March. I don't
fast?
I thought it was January.
Yeah.
It was. When was it?
It was February.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was-
I'm sorry. I'm
It
sorry.
seemed like yesterday.
That's right. February 22nd.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
My mom's birthday.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so if you will,
it's the drink.
introduce yourself, man. I know it's good Kool-Aid that we have on the show here.
Hey everybody, I'm Kerry Williams and born and raised here in Houston, Texas. I'm a business owner as well, licensed professional therapist here, and just believe that's my calling. I've also pastored and done ministry all over the world, and so you know, I'm just glad to be here. Just met you guys through a dear friend of ours, Stephanie, and so she's just a jewel.
Shout out to Steph.
Yeah, Steph, man, just jewel of a person.
Yes, yes.
And so I met her, you know, in our professional setting and therapy, and so
She said, "Go therapize them Carters."
she did not say that.
Okay.
She said y'all were just wonderful people, and you had wonderful beverages.
This thing sound like a plan. plan.
Sound like a plan. These people I need to know. They love the Lord too. Okay, we can get down together.
Yeah. So that's good. Good to have you here, brother Kerry. And y'all notice I took my hat off. I see the brothers on the show today. They got them bald heads.
Yes, sir.
Shining like brand new nipples on the show. So I thought I'd present mine.
That's right. Solidarity. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry, I can't participate.
Yeah, John, you hate it.
All right, it's time for the acronym for the show. Again, the name of the title of the show is The Battle Between the Head and the Heart. Ladies, are y'all ready for that acronym?
Absolutely. This week, the acronym is BRIDGE. B is for balance, finding a middle ground between logic and emotions, ensuring neither dominates your decisions.
There you go.
R is for recognize, to identify or become aware of something clearly. I is for interpret, to explain the meaning of information, words, or actions. D is for decide, to make a choice or to come to a resolution after consideration. G is for ground, to establish a strong foundation or base for stability. And then E is for express, to convey a thought or feeling through words or actions.
All righty then.
Very good.
Oh, Lord. All I can say, are y'all ready for this conversation? I think the acronym made it very clear. Since I said earlier, I'm going to sit in my seat and sit on my hand. Yes, sir. It's Men of Steel.
Men of
So,
Steel.
Carter, you need to take the lead on here.
No, I wasn't expecting that. So what we got here? The battle between the head and the heart. Right?
See, that's okay.
So everything went blurred.
You did me when you threw that thing, and I just had to go.
Well, you know, I'm kind of swift on my feet sometimes. So
Okay, look at him. He's shifting his non-tie right there. Let's go.
So, here we go. The title of the show today is Battle Between the Head and the Heart. The battle between the head and the heart. We got the head and we got the heart, and they got a battle going on. What that mean to you, bro, Kerry?
Well, you just gonna throw it on me? Like,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Man of Steel. You know, when I Kelsey sent me the theme, the topic. You know, the thing that's stood out to me was that if I go in either way, it could really lead me to destruction. If I go too far in either direction, it could be very dangerous.
Okay.
Not only for myself, but the people that I love.
Yeah.
And so the thing that really jumped out to me, and I know it's not me because I'm not this gifted or smart, is the word wisdom. And the way God kind of broke it down to me was this wise domain, that we live in different domains in our life. And so what needs to show up is the wise decision depending on the domain that I'm in.
Okay.
And that domain, that wisdom should, given my experience, God's leading, and all the information, the intelligence that I've acquired over the time, it should inform my decision about whatever I'm up against. And so, that's the thing that I really believe that helps to manage my intellect or my mind and my heart. That I really need to make sure that I'm not just totally driven by either, but I am using the wisdom of God, the keys that I need,
Right,
in order to make the right decision at the moment.
Yeah.
So when in your forward thinking here, would you say you use your head versus your heart, or your heart versus your head in most situations?
I don't. I think it's. I mean, the work that I do, given I'm.
In other words, what I'm saying is, do you lean more to your intellect on things that's, when I talk about your head, that's more intellect, in my opinion, and there ain't no right or wrong answers.
No,
because we all gonna have something different, just like if we read in the Bible.
Right.
And so when I say your head, I'm thinking more, you thinking more logically, thinking more methodically about what as become knowledge, or your heart, which I in turn interprets maybe more emotion or feelings or something like that.
No, I say I really, I'm a very analytical person, but I really try. And my wife, she kind of gets frustrated with me because, man, you take so long to make a decision. I don't just impulsively make decisions. I'm not the guy that, I'll give you an example. Last week, we celebrated my granddaughter's first year birthday.
All right.
I mean, she she just turned 1. She's Paw. I go hug and pick her up.
Mhm.
I don't have to think about that.
Right.
Mhm.
That's just
natural.
it's just an automatic emotion.
Yeah.
Right.
She's beautiful. I mean, and when I really think about the context of her life, a year ago she was in the NICU,
Mhm.
and so my heart
Yeah.
automatically
Automatically.
goes.
Okay.
When I see my
Okay.
wife,
Break
I
it
see
on
my
down
kids.
then. Yeah.
No, there's nothing that I have to think about there.
Right.
It's because of our relationship and who they mean to me.
Mhm.
And there's no thinking there.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to money,
Yeah. Another.
hey, babe,
Yeah.
I think we need to buy that. Well, let's hold on.
Yeah.
And so when you think about the concept of the
Yeah,
head and the heart,
what domain am
yeah,
I in?
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I
that's
got you.
kind of how in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
JB,
makes
what
sense.
you got over there, JB?
I am a very emotional person,
Mhm.
and especially regarding things that are impacting me directly. When I'm thinking about other people, it's easy for me to be analytical and just think my way through stuff with them because I don't have an emotional connection to their situation.
Mhm.
But when it comes to stuff regarding me, I have to force myself to stop and think about it because my knee-jerk reaction is always to just go with what I feel.
Mhm.
And younger versions of myself, that was extremely dangerous because I was very insecure, and I was, my feelings are going to take me in a place that has nothing to do with reality. I would buy things compulsively because buying something nice made me feel good about who I was for a minute. Not a rational decision at all. And at some point, I had 25 guitars because each one of them made me feel good for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, none of them made me a better guitar player. It's and then I'm sitting there, I got no space to walk through my living room because I got guitars everywhere. It's
That's leading with the head or with your heart right there.
that's leading with the heart. That's leading 100% with the heart.
Yeah.
And I still have that knee-jerk reaction. I know that if I'm feeling down, that buying something's going to make me feel good for a minute. But that's not the right answer to the situation. The right answer is I got to figure out why I'm feeling down and work on that.
Yeah.
And I think Carrie nailed it. Like it's always a blend of the two. Like I think feelings need to be important, which when I'm talking to other people, I need to extend my feelings into that more rather than just being purely analytical because their feelings are a part of that. And that's an important part of the experience for everybody. So finding that balance is very difficult, but it's also very important.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. And now we're going to.
I think I'm going to ask. I want to hear what my brother over here have to say.
You already know I'm going to be very
I
transparent.
want to.
Say it,
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna come back. Oh, I thought you was asking. Oh, okay.
No.
I really want to be the last one. There's a reason I want to be. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I agree with the brothers. There has to be a balance. And we can all be very transparent as men. Coming up, I thought with the wrong head.
Yeah, there you go.
And my heart
Yes.
was hardened.
Yeah.
And because of that, I could care less
That's right.
how you felt or what you thought, but
Right.
this is what I'm thinking with.
Mhm.
But life happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And
Life be life.
life be life, and it'll soften up your heart.
There you
Yes.
And it will give you some balance between your mind and your heart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I've learned that I could think of some things I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it might not be the right things to do.
There's a
right.
consequence
So
with
there's
that.
consequences
Mhm.
to it, and
Yes.
I've learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
And so then you have to realize that it's not about what you thought. As you grow older, it's about what God placed in your heart.
Wow.
And when he places it in your heart, it regulates your mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Preach, brother. Preach.
So it's fair to say what Paul said in 2 Corinthians over there, I believe in the 11th chapter, that when I was a
Child.
boy, I thought as a boy.
I thought as a boy. Exactly what I'm saying. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought as a boy.
Look at him. Look at him.
For a long time.
For a long time.
And some of
Struggling.
and it's fair to say that a vast majority of us, it takes a while.
That's right.
We grow
That's
up.
right.
We grow up
Yeah,
into the
man.
mature individual
That's
that God wants us to be.
Yes, sir.
Like you were saying, we keep it 100 on
That's
on,
right.
on
On the show.
Love and Victory
Yeah.
show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Many of us like you.
That's right.
Like he was.
Start with the wrong
Amen.
hand.
With the
Yeah, bro.
You know?
all kind of problems.
All kind of problems.
All kind of
Bad
problems.
mistake.
Yeah, children's everywhere. All kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
You got that problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, you got something.
I do. The reason why I asked to step back and let you guys say it, because I think a lot of times the first thing that a man thinks when a woman starts to want to express on something, you guys, just my opinion, and women help me out here. I think you guys naturally go to the head when the woman is really speaking from the heart about something that is impacting them. So you guys are already trying to get in front of what we're saying so you can just kind of get past that conversation because it's going to get too deep for you.
That's right.
And I kind of feel like,
and seriously, I was finna say you had a different take on what we were saying.
Yeah, I know, I appreciate it. So then,
Brother Carter's trying to get ahead of you on this.
There you go. He just did it. You see,
Be quiet now. Be quiet now.
my fact.
Yeah.
So again, you guys do that because you only want to hear one or two words.
That's right.
You know,
That's right here.
you know, you just want a little bit. You know, you're like, okay, I heard you. Move on.
Yeah,
But
you done
what
said
you
it 30
don't realize
times.
what you're doing when you do that is you're locking in something that is really could be detrimental to your relationship and to the communication because you have to meet the individual where they're at. And I'm hoping with this title, because I am petty, and I put this out here because I knew we were having men on the show. And so I hope that we can get past the head and the heart thing, and we understand how important it is for us as individuals, not just women. Men gonna learn something today too.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you brought something to my mind.
Okay.
When a wife says to her husband, "We need to talk."
Sure.
And so
Okay.
if I'm cutting my grass and you say we need to talk, I put the lawnmower away
Yeah.
and break out a pair of scissors to cut the grass.
Front and the back.
Not weeding you.
Yeah. Put the lawnmower aside.
So in other words, what I hear you say is that
You're 100% on what you said. Though. That's what I'm saying.
So y'all want to stretch this thing out because y'all don't want to have this conversation.
We don't want to have this conversation.
Okay, but then, but that's my point.
Yeah.
So what ends
You
up,
gonna help us today?
I'm gonna help y'all today.
No.
Right.
So because here's what happens when you guys get into your head. You assume it's a problem and something that you created. And so most of the time, if you allow or you be considerate to the other person that's talking to you or want to talk to you, you'll find in most cases it's not a problem. We just need to express something. So if you let your guards down and you just allow the woman to express what's there, look at this one over here.
No, see, and see what you're not realizing is there's a whole lot of history.
Yeah.
That took place.
The history is there because you guys came up in the line. Yeah, because y'all didn't want to have nobody talking.
I'm not talking about me and you.
Well, we talk about me and you sometimes.
But I'm not talking because we got hundreds and millions of people that watch the show, right?
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is we have history as men. I'm talking about men in general.
Okay.
That, we've done so much wrong. Done so much.
So y'all running from it.
And so when you start talking about I need to talk, then
so
you know that. She caught me with this time.
Guilty conscience.
So what I'm hearing you say, ladies out there, hey ladies, I told you I was gonna keep it bonded. So Brother Carter, so what you're saying to me is that men typically, when a woman say that she needs to talk, the first thought to y'all mind is to go to a defense.
It's some dirt.
No, so y'all gonna go to a defense because y'all don't know if something coming from yesterday, today, or 20 years ago. So y'all automatically, y'all remember the things y'all done. So y'all just don't want us to bring it up. I mean, am I right?
That's one part of it.
Well, now we starting with part one.
Yeah, that's one.
So is that one part?
Yeah,
that's part of it.
Yeah,
but as a man,
I think he's studying over here. Okay, come on, ladies. We gonna
Speak
give
up.
him-
I can only speak for myself. I can only speak for myself.
Hold
Okay,
10 toes
okay,
down.
speak
Come
for
on, bro.
yourself.
I'm a horrible communicator.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And when it comes to stuff like that, I don't want to communicate it.
Oh, so is that fair?
It's not fair.
Okay, but then, so
Yeah.
she,
But
you're not in a relationship by yourself. We're not gonna let you get away.
But the problem with me is
But
that
you just-
once we start talking, it's gonna last.
But
It's gonna
but,
last.
but no.
It's gonna
But
last.
you-
Game
but-
over.
Game over.
But again,
It's tomorrow.
okay,
Yes.
we gonna come
I'm
back.
gonna say something stupid.
Okay.
That's me too. I'm gonna say something.
Okay, so we're gonna jump in here. So here's what I'm hearing you say.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have to just own your stuff.
That's
And we
what we're
got-
doing.
No, today, but when the conversation, because you're not in a relationship by yourself.
No,
That's
right.
And so
Right.
when you put up a defense because you don't want to, and I'm not a therapist, but we
Yeah.
do have one in the room
Yeah.
that can, that we can call on. So when you
Call.
put up a defense automatically,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna ask you to diagnose that.
Yeah.
Diagnose your brothers in here. When you put up a defense automatically when there is a need to have a conversation, because if there is a conversation needed, there is someone hurting and there is someone avoiding.
Mhm. There
So,
you go.
okay, and that's just my.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, can you help us out on
No,
how we
yeah,
can
help us
fix
out,
that
Carrie.
situation?
Yeah, help us
No,
out.
you know, the key word here is vulnerability.
Mm.
Okay.
Men, we don't like to be vulnerable.
There it is.
Mhm.
Talk.
We don't like to say what we're really feeling, and sometimes that vulnerability has been destroyed or not acknowledged when we have been open and honest.
Mhm.
We've been
Mhm.
attacked.
Yep.
We've been made to feel, that was stupid. Why did you say that? Wait a
Oh,
minute. I'm
okay.
expressing my heart.
That's right.
I'm being vulnerable.
Yep.
And so for men, we shut down.
We shut
Okay.
down.
And so if those occurrences happen, and I tell parents all the time, especially moms raising sons,
Mhm.
when you say to your son, and remember, I want you to think about this. The first persons that a man is vulnerable with is his mother.
Mhm.
We start out as boys.
That's right.
Mhm.
And so if this abusive behavior, emotionally abusive, what you're saying is stupid, be a man, don't cry, shut up. So we grow up hearing
So that
those things.
starts off.
It starts
early
off
on.
early.
Okay,
Just
gotcha.
And so
your
we're already
your
conditioned.
GD daddy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so no, it really becomes, and I tell couples as we're, having therapy, hey, if a man, and I'll take it to you this way. When a man gives himself to a wife, really fully committed,
Mhm.
what he's giving is his heart.
Mm.
And when we take it back biblically, God uses the rib, even if you don't believe, but it's great metaphor. He uses the ribs to protect or forms and shapes the woman. So from an anatomical position, all of the internal organs are covered by the heart, are covered by the ribs,
The ribs. Okay.
which the heart is encased in the ribs.
Right. Mhm.
So when a man gives himself to his wife, that's a commitment. I'm giving you everything. Vice versa, as a woman gives herself to a man, she's giving him everything. But when a man's heart is betrayed, when his heart is broken, it's hard to get that back.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because a woman should cover his heart. His heart and his words with her should be safe. It shouldn't be a warfare.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And breaking it down that way, it gives us ladies a different perspective on that.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you saying that, ladies. I'm just forgetting. I appreciate him saying that for the ladies.
Okay.
But
I'm ready.
there's
You speaking for the hundred and billions.
hundred and billions of women out there, but y'all know I told y'all if they just kept it one-sided, I'm coming for them. So what happens to the woman that is expressive, that's taught as a child from the womb to feel, to express, and they know that they're hurting or something didn't make them feel good. We're talking about understanding the man.
Correct.
But the woman has to also be understood.
Correct.
And there has to be, so that we can come together
Oh yeah, I agree.
and that
Totally agree.
conversation can happen. So can you flip that and give another perspective?
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. You know that for a man to be vulnerable, do the work as it relates to really understanding themselves, understanding. I mean, even what John mentioned, he said, "Man, I had to get myself together before I could love anyone else."
Mm-hmm.
And so that growth, that intentional growth that we have to have, and I think for me, from a spiritual context, that's when God begins to work on me and really help a man to really see that that's a helpmate.
Yeah.
That's not your enemy.
There you go.
Okay, that's the part.
I gave her to you to be of assistance, to love and to cherish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he says, love the wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself for
Mm-hmm.
it. So no, there's a responsibility and for men to realize that when a woman comes to you, your wife comes to you, she's coming not as an adversary,
Mm-hmm.
but she's really coming as the person that you should love and take care of.
Okay, then. Well,
And you should be, that space should be vulnerable enough, transparent enough that whatever she says,
we're gonna get
through this together. And oftentimes
when
that's
Kerry
what a
say
woman
John,
wants to.
he's talking about you, Justin.
I know.
My Florida brother. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yes.
But no, and that space should be, men. And I think another piece too for us as men, we want to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not about fixing. It's just about simply listening.
Yes.
But
Very
I'm
good.
gonna bring another perspective on that, and I'm gonna get JB to jump in here in a second here. But also, ladies out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it might go over a little smoother conversation if it didn't come off as an attack versus a conversation.
Okay, give an
And
example.
when it comes off as if you're attacking me as an individual or my character, that's going to automatically
Put
make
a wall up.
Shut down.
There's an automatic shutdown for a man, and he ain't trying to hear it, and a woman ain't trying to hear it. Versus if a man even comes to a woman in an attack mode,
So what
versus a conversation mode.
That. So what is the best way?
It's all about tone. It's all about tone and texture.
That's what I wanted you to. That's perfect because again, when you a woman recognize that you're out there cutting the grass, since that was a big topic, you're cutting the grass. So you're in a focused state.
There you go.
And you are focusing on prettying up the lawn, and you're really not in the mindset to want to hear anything about talking, because your mind is to get this yard together, get out
you
this
feeling ignored
and
as a woman.
As a woman, I'm feeling ignored. So that may not be the best time to say we need to talk. So we have to consider as women, we need to consider when we're approaching you guys. And same thing for a man. When we're approaching needing to talk.
And when I say that, and
I like
JB, you can jump in anytime here. But when I say that, I mean, it may be the way the deliverance. How you want to have a conversation.
He's absolutely right.
I just can't come at you with an angry attitude about what I want to say to you.
Yeah, you got to come with a love.
They ain't showing you no love. I'm just coming at you.
So they automatically put a wall up. That's what
let's take the same scenario. You cutting the grass with scissors or weed eater, whatever. And she comes out, I want to talk. She can come out and say, baby, I brought you some water. And when you get done, the shower's going to be ready for you, or the bath. And I just want to talk with you.
That's
okay.
So you gonna hurry up?
Oh yeah.
Okay, y'all ready to talk?
Yeah,
we
you know.
I might pull a lawnmower.
Exactly.
Okay. So ladies, y'all heard that? Yeah. So it's all in our approach.
Delivery.
Okay.
Delivery.
If somebody said, "Hey, baby, let's have a conversation."
Mm-hmm. You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I'm ready to sit down and talk. That might not be long, but we're gonna have a conversation.
Okay. So in other words, coming without this posture of like you're angry or you're mad or you got something that you got on your mind. You know, just
I mean, you come at me and just say, "Babe, guess what happened to me today?"
Yeah,
that's a good.
Okay, that's a good segue into a conversation.
That's right.
All right,
JB, come on, man.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing you got to remember is that we never sit down to have a serious conversation about how good things are. Like it's always about a problem, right? So we're starting off in a negative headspace there. Like this,
That's good.
I did something or somebody else did something. There's a problem that's got to be resolved here, and it's probably me.
I like what you just said there, because when someone is just so true, when a woman is coming to you and saying that, hey, we need to talk, it may not necessarily be about the issue, may not be about you, but like you said, it's something negative. And so you still have to give,
but
in my
in
opinion.
a man's defense, we all automatically think it's something that we have to fix. Something that we got.
But that's something you guys have to start working on.
That's our own.
Y'all need to start working on that.
That's our own insecurities.
No,
that's our own defaults.
You're right, but I think too you're wrong. Because
who's wrong?
You.
I'm never.
I know, but I'm just.
When the last time you been on this show? Oh, okay.
Wait 20 seconds. Oh, are you saying this is the last time? Okay, well I got that, so I'm already out here.
Put it out there.
But it is the responsibility of both to ensure the connection and the communication of the relationship.
100%. That's good.
That's what 100%. I mean.
That's good. I like that.
That if we both are working toward the same thing, it's hard for us to be in conflict with each other.
I knew you was gonna come with something like that. Even though okay.
Come on.
For me.
I tell you, this man show today is something else.
Come on, Diamond, you got something you want to throw in there, though.
Back there, they throw. Y'all got something over there, crew? Come on.
Well,
give it to me, D.
Nah, I'm just listening to the conversation. I love it.
Okay, then. Well, we're gonna keep it going. I do want to
go ahead.
Okay, I do want to ask this question. Do you believe that men and women process emotion differently, or is it more about personalities and upbringing?
Oh, both. Ooh.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask JB, could you answer that for us? And then I'm gonna come to my Ike on the mic.
You got a lot of a nature versus nurture argument in that, but I really think that as small children, we're taught how to be, whether it's directly taught or just the things that we observe. And, our culture dictates so much of that. And boys are taught different than girls. Girls are taught to feel and boys are taught to think and to act and to problem solve and to never be vulnerable and never show weakness, right? All the things. And so and I think when you fast forward that into two adults trying to have a conversation about something, as human beings we're so wrapped up in our own experience that it takes a next level of consciousness and awareness and intention to consider the fact that the other person also has thoughts and feelings and experiences and a lifetime of hurts and joy and all the things that make us who we are, right? So like when I'm in that conversation and you want to have a talk with me, all of my stuff is surrounding me to the point that I can't even see that you got a bubble of stuff surrounding you too. Oh, wow. I have to extend myself past that to try to be empathetic to your situation, put myself in your shoes that, yes, you are feeling something and I need to put my stuff aside for a minute and hear what you have to say. That's hard to do. It doesn't come natural. None of us do that naturally.
No.
And I think in order to be in a positive, healthy, growing relationship, like you have to step outside of that and be willing to get to the next level to even have that conversation in a healthy way. Otherwise, we're just reacting based on our own history and our own stuff that we got going on. That probably doesn't have anything to do with the other person.
100%. I think that was a very bold and correct statement on both sides. I think we all should possess that quality. Can you give me a little bit on that?
I think we're a product of our environment and our home. Like for myself, my dad was one of the hardest men ever. So I came up like that. Hard mind. It wasn't until I was in my
rough around the edge,
in everything and all things.
Rough in the center,
and even in relationships. I was the same way. And it wasn't because I thought that as a man you weren't supposed to have any emotion.
That's right.
That's right.
And women have a lot of emotion. And for a man without emotion, that's hard to deal with. And it wasn't until I finally saw my dad cry that I realized he has emotions.
Yeah.
So it's okay for me to have emotions.
Yes, because you're balling them up. You didn't even know what that was.
Even in my
think something's wrong.
Yeah, something's wrong. I'm balling them up because of my environment and my home that I was raised in.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, until that trigger come and that volcano then erupted.
Crying, I'm like, wait a minute.
What are you crying for?
I thought you told me we ain't
You don't
supposed to
cry.
do that. Yes.
But then it released a lot of in me.
Gives you permission.
To share my emotions, even and relationships get better with women when you're able to share that emotion.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Wow.
That's good.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say to the Carter crew out there listening. We need you guys to get involved in this conversation. I need you guys to, whatever questions you have out of there, whatever comments you want to share with the panelists over here, I want y'all to get it together. I'm going to ask you guys, and I want you all, if you can, we're going to leave you with this question before we take a quick break, and we're coming right back. Can you talk about a time when you miscommunicated? When you miscommunicated because it was unnecessary conflict in your life? How did you fix it? So in other words, can you talk about a time when you know that you miscommunicated something because there was already some issues going on, maybe in the relationship, maybe in the family, so you assume when you were brought with a question or you were brought with a situation, you assumed it to be one way when in fact it was over here, it was completely different. And how did you deal with it? So we're going to take a quick break, and Carter crew, put the questions in here, and we're going to come on back. The time. So what we're going to do, we're going to come on back because a question was asked, and I think that we are at the top of the conversation. And what we're going to do real quick here is we're going to, Diamond, if you can, I think that there was a couple, we're going to go to the question from the audience, and then we'll come back here. Go ahead, Diamond.
Yes. Okay, so
I can't hear your mic. Turn it on. There you go.
Mike Willis asks, what's your advice to avoid miscommunication?
Okay, then. Who wants to take that? One of the gentlemen can take that.
Well, when it comes to talking to your mate, stop thinking that you're going to mess up. I'm talking to the men right now. Stop thinking that you're going to mess up your evening by having a conversation with your significant other.
After
It might make you have a good evening.
It might be a greater if you take the time to just have that conversation.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
Okay, then. Thank you, Brother Carter. That was a very clear. And I would have to agree.
I would agree.
That would be the perfect answer.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to add to that before we move on down the street?
Go on, Ike.
I would, if it's going to be a good evening, then I'm going to lie my way right into it.
I agree with you,
being real.
Whatever you say.
I want to get to this evening. I don't want to say nothing bad. I'm going to lie my way right into it.
Okay, Lord.
And then afterwards, then I might say,
Help Jesus. All right, then.
but
Start with the right motivation.
the midnight hour.
Jesus, Mike, do you have anything to? I mean, JB, you have anything to help Mike with that answer?
Yeah. I think I can answer.
Put on your red and your high. Some of that sweet.
Come on, let's move on. We got to go here.
Okay, JB.
All right, I can answer the question that you asked before the break, and Mike Will is in the same shot here.
Okay, thank you.
I think I met my wife when I was 38, and that was before I spent a lot of time in trauma therapy and learned a lot of things that I needed to know. But my wife was a veterinarian. She owned her own practice, successful person, and I married into that. And got a leadership role in running the business part of that practice without really knowing what I was doing. And I had a lot of insecurities wrapped up in that. And I also didn't understand the difference between my wife's communication style and my communication style. And so even 3 or 4 years into this, my wife would make a business decision, or, she would mention something to me in a snippet in passing, and then it becomes policy, and I don't even know what's going on, and there's changes made in the business. And I feel like I'm a fraud. Like, I'm not even really in this position. This is just she's pacifying me and patronizing me. and like she doesn't respect me. She doesn't trust anything that I'm doing. Right. And the reality is, none of those things are true. My wife is a bullet point communicator, and she thought she was clear with me in 2 sentences, and I needed a paragraph. I needed a page. I needed 3 pages of information because that's how I communicate. I need all the details, then I can sort through it and make a decision and move forward. And it took a personality test that we took, the one that's from a business perspective that we did in trying to grow as a vet clinic, for me to understand that that's how my wife communicates. And she's trusting me to ask questions if I need more information. And if I don't ask, she's going to move on because she's got 17,000 other things she's trying to work on. Right. She doesn't have the time to sit down and spend 2 hours explaining something to me. And nor should I expect her to. Right. And I need to understand that if I need more information, I need to speak up. I shouldn't just, knee jerk react to these insecurities and this just assuming that, the worst on everything. But until I learned that that's how we communicate, and this is what I need to do in order for us to be clear in our communication, we had a ton of miscommunications. Wow. We had all kinds of problems with me not understanding where she's coming from. She's not understanding where I'm coming from. She feels like I'm trying to smother her with data because I'm talking for 45 minutes about something when she just wanted 10 seconds. Right.
That's real good. I like that you said that. That's real good because it's understanding that we all are talking from 2 different I don't even want to say, I'll say strengths because we love to put a negative on there. She is a person that she's going to give you those bullets. You are a person that needs more information. So now we understand how we talk. I like that.
And let me give a little quick snip on this too. You married to the same woman I'm married to, right? So they already
literally we not.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And so she had businesses. You married into the businesses, right? That's what you said. And so let's not lose sight just because you are in the position as the leader of the business, like Brother Carter be doing, and forget that Val, this is the Love and Victory Show with Val. Yeah. And this is in your wife's business. This is the Love and Victory Show with your wife that created the business. That's right. And so when she make a decision, it's based on just because she's the one that created the business and not get in the way of that, not get your feelings caught up in it. And that's what I have to understand for myself.
Right. I think that it's good that you brought that up because it's so easy for us to feel like, oh, you're leaving that other person out. When in fact, sometimes some decisions and for us, I try to include, but some decisions have to be made on the spot. And so what I do is when it's a decision that have to be made on the spot, I still go back to my husband and say, hey, baby, here's what we had to do. Here's where the change is coming in. I know it's late notice, kind of like what he did with me this morning with his change on the show. So give us the next one, Diamond, while we try to get through this here. There was another question I want to make.
And sometimes, JB, when they do make a decision, it's already made. Don't care how much talking we do about it. The decision already made. So
they're saving us time and effort anyway.
That's right. Wow. Then we wasting our breath just trying to.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. This
just that part.
From Herman.
Okay, Herman Lane from YouTube said, he asked, is it really possible to follow your head and heart at the same time?
You got to ask a therapist. I'm not a licensed therapist, so we're going to ask somebody over here that may know. Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. I think, like I said before, if you follow either solely, that it doesn't always lead to the best outcomes, and so just because I like cake, and if I eat cake every day and I eat too much of it, it's going to make me sick. And the calories and all the other things that come with eating poorly, it's going to have some ramifications. So what alters or what changes that reality? Information. Doctors say I shouldn't do this. I should have a balanced diet. I should do this. And so here is the head of or the intellect of what we know to be true, and it's balancing against the cravings and the things I really like. So I can't have just solely one. No, it's not good for me.
Okay, so
even if I exercise too much, too much exercise is going to hurt bones and muscle growth. No, my muscles need to rest.
Okay,
so you can have your cake and your ice cream at the same time, but you just
You just got to manage everything in moderation. It don't rain all the time. No, we got sun.
Yeah,
that's right.
So no, there's everything with moderation.
Okay, I know
balance.
you have when you get to whatever you have done, you can bring it. But I also want to read, if you can, Austin's comment from Facebook.
That's what I was going to bring.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Austin from Facebook says, I have a question for Justin. How to build a positive relationship with your partner, as I have seen both you and your wife with such a blessing relationship.
Okay.
All right.
Nice.
I think the very foundation key in a positive relationship is that I love myself in a healthy way, and my wife loves herself in a healthy way. And we do not rely on one another for our value as human beings. That allows us to put 100% respect and love and compassion and understanding into each other without having to rely on each other to fix our problems. And I think because that's an unrealistic expectation. If you hate yourself, your wife is never going to love you enough to make up for that.
Ooh.
I tried that for 12 years. Didn't work.
Don't work.
So that's my thing. Learn how to love yourself, and then you can love your partner.
So
what a way to end this fantastic show.
That's powerful.
That was very powerful.
Yeah.
That was something to wrap it up with. We went over. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry for the delay, the sound. But of course, I have to always give credit where credit is due. I have the baddest team God has blessed us with. They got in here and they kept doing what they have to do.
Got it back on before it's over.
Yes, she did. I have to tell her they were switching cameras, they was doing sound work. That's how important us coming together in this village, in this community, so that we can pour in each other. They really, really do care. So thank you, guys. I want to go around the room and make it real quick if we can do it before we step out of here. I'm going to start with JB in closing. Can you leave the people with something and tell them about your experience on the show?
And let's keep our short version because we all know
I had a great experience, as I always do. Like being surrounded by people who bring so much to the table is always uplifting. And I think my advice to the world is if you can find a group of people like this that you can have real conversation with, you will always grow from that.
Amen.
Wow. Amen. And how can they find you, Jay?
You can find me at jboydlong.com. You can find my book, The Righteous Rage of a 10-Year-Old Boy. It'll tell you everything that you need to know about how I got to where I am.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
I appreciate you, Justin, because Justin is not afraid to show his vulnerable side, and he's still a man.
He's still a man.
And so we appreciate you, Justin, for just allowing us through you to be able to just be vulnerable.
Yes, beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
And to Ike.
Amen.
All righty then.
All right. I always enjoy loving being here. And it's always a blessing to be around family. I consider it family. I am Mike, CEO of Gospel Company Entertainment. You can catch us anywhere. Go to Gospel Company Entertainment on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anywhere you name it. You can go on Gospel Company Entertainment, find out where we at, where we're doing shows. And JB, I'll get your information and get it over to you when we be in Florida.
All right, and that's what I'm talking about. Wow. And over to Carrie.
Wow. It's always a blast. I'm like Don Cornelius. So, man, you guys, it's been a blessing, really, and to be a part of the show. And you can find me at Clarity, KLEREDE Counseling, on Psychology Today. And however, I can assist or help. I'm here.
Yeah.
And so thank you guys again.
Thank you. Brother Carter, what do you want to leave the people with?
Brothers out there, brothers, don't be afraid to have conversations with your significant other and significant other wives. Respect your husband just a little bit more, and then he might be able to open up to you and be vulnerable, so to speak. So, and one more note. Cutting the grass with the scissors is just a joke. Don't go out there start cutting the grass with no scissors, man.
It's going to be a problem.
I seen a few comments on there. They say they better cut the crap. So.
All right, then. So I'm going to say this has been, again, I say it every Saturday. This has been a fantastic show, but I have to say again, Men of Steel, y'all have showed up and showed out this morning. I have to say, this was the absolute best Men of Steel show we've had since we started it. So y'all got my stamp mark, and it's something about this vibe here I love, and I look forward to more conversations like this.
Before you go, I always have to interrupt.
Why you always have to? In the middle of this is what I know. Go ahead, baby.
But it's something that always
pop in my mind.
It pop in my mind, And as I look at the YouTube and Facebook and all of these, never want to not say thank you to the people out there that tune into the show. I know. I'm just
okay.
Yeah, never want to do that.
Okay,
so I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Well, Brother Carter jumped in and said it, but he appreciates you. I appreciate
if you said it's the same as I see.
Okay.
Well,
all right. So, what I want to say to you guys, that's why I love my husband. That's 40-something years, baby. That's how we rock. Yeah. How many people can rock like this, like we've been rocking? So we truly we don't always get it right, but we get it right more than we get it wrong.
I understand you.
So he understands me, and I understand him.
I
want to say this to you guys. There are no big U's and big I's and big U's in a relationship. It's a us.
There you go.
So when you learn to function from a us perspective, your relationship can grow. Until next Saturday, we love you and we're out of here.